Hello, welcome. This is Colin Young from Twitching Tongues and God's Hate with Knotfest live at Aftershock Fest. Very special guest today.
Hey.
Yo.
The legendary UnderOath. Boys, how we doing?
Good, man. Good, just cooking in the sun, baby.
In the sun. That
Sweating
set was wilding.
It was hot.
Hot as fuck.
Hot as
Yeah.
fuck.
You guys got the toughest jobs on the
I'm surprised. I don't think so, man. All those people standing out there like that. There's no band I would stand in the sun like that to see.
For sure.
Yeah, when I jumped down into the crowd, it was like 10 degrees hotter when I got near all the people. I was like, oh no.
It's been
yeah.
baking.
Yeah, they're like, because you share body heat, and then
Absolutely.
the sun's baking you, and then you're all close to someone else. Man, that's no joke, dude. That's whew.
Straight
That was
up,
brutal.
dude. Monster on the vocals, monster on the kit.
Thank you.
You are like, so like I have a microphone when drumming, and like anybody I tell that to, they're like, oh, like UnderOath. Like that's the forever in any realm of extreme music. Like that's where the mind goes.
That's cool.
That's high honor, dude.
I never thought about it that. I guess I'd be an asshole if I thought about it that way.
Fair, but it's like to anybody I grew up with, kind of no matter like how cool their band is, like or whatever they consider cool or whatever, like UnderOath is kind of like in the Mount Rushmore of gateway bands into like hardcore, metalcore, whatever.
Oh, that's nice of you, dude.
This is objective, straight up.
Thank you.
It's
Very
like, so
kind. Very kind.
As starting as a fucking the first Christian grindcore band, you know, straight up like.
Yeah.
The ethos in music is always like evolve, don't change. But you've managed to kind of do both successfully for 25 years now.
I said this years ago when we got back together. You know, we broke up for a few years, and we got back together in 2016. And I said to the guys, like, UnderOath is whatever we want it to be. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
It was all like, at the time we were making an album, and we were like, well, is that us? Does that sound like us? And if you've paid attention, you know, through the 20 years or whatever, like, we put out records that are polarizing from one another. And I think the reason we do that is because this is just who we are. And if you just sit down and make something, you're going to make who the fuck you are if you're being honest with yourself, you know, and if you're being honest with your people. And so to us, that's always been really important. Like, let's make what we want to make. Like, what we're passionate about, I guess,
Absolutely.
is a better way to say it, right?
Yeah.
Like, UnderOath is whatever we say it is, right?
Absolutely. The best art is the people that remember that there are no rules in art.
Yeah, there's no boundaries. I mean, I feel like UnderOath, like the four main writers for this band, that's me and Aaron and Chris and Tim, like when we get together to write this stuff, it's always going to have an aggressive feel. So it's not like we're trying to put out like a pop record or a country record or hip hop. We're not like starting to rap and shit like that. Like, but we do leave like open boundaries and open minds to all of that stuff. Like, we'll be writing a song and like referencing a Run the Jewels song or like a country song. You know, like we're all open-minded when it comes to UnderOath. Like, there is no parameters to keep us in, but the four of us, when we create, it's always going to feel
Aggressive, yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah,
It's something we
Your
do.
roots are
It's something-
hardcore metalcore.
Yeah,
right?
well,
absolutely.
Yeah.
When we are together, that's what we do. When everyone's apart, you know, Aaron makes country music, Tim
Wild.
does like hip-hop beats, and Chris makes movies, and I make all pop shit. You know, like, we all do different stuff, but together it's always going to be like, because we're looking to get each other excited. So like when I'm doing something,
Pop the boys, as
like,
they say.
like, and you're
you
like,
know?
oh,
Gotta pop
like,
the boys.
He'll be playing the kit. So when we write, like, there's like a guy, you know, someone's playing guitar, be it me or Tim or both of us, and Aaron's in the room, other side of the glass. We have the studio, and he's playing stuff. And when something starts happening, it's like one of us is like on the table.
Okay.
Like, you know, it's all about
The feeling.
we're trying to stoke each other out, and I think that's always going to be heavy and aggressive. Even in the softest of our songs, there's this vibe to it, and I think that comes from us not doing, you know, what a lot of bands do, is having one guy write everything. You know, it's like we write
Sure.
it as if we're still in a garage band before Pro Tools, before having a studio, before having any money. The best UnderOath songs come from the four of us that write it, sitting there ping-ponging until we get somewhere. We're like,
We still do it that way.
here's
crazy.
where Tim is happy, I'm happy, Aaron's happy, Chris is happy. Even though I might think I was more stoked with my idea over here, when we get in the middle, whereas someone else is stoked, and you end up landing here, and you're like, oh wow, I actually like this better than what I was fighting for an hour ago, because together that's what UnderOath is.
Not
It's
a lot of
fucking,
rock music
yeah.
is made that way anymore, right?
No, there's always there's a Jasta, you know. There's a kingpin
sure.
in each band. So it's interesting to hear that you guys
God, I
have.
loved Hatebreed,
You guys have
though.
4 Jastas.
I loved Hatebreed, though.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
goat, dude.
there's 4 of us, and I think that madness is what keeps UnderOath sounding kind of fresh. Not trying to toot our own horn here, but like the reason why,
Toot it, dude. Come on.
the reason why
that bitch.
no record sounds the same to me, even being in the band, is because I'm like, as we grow as artists and individuals, we always come together and make stuff that I'm like, I know none of us could have made that on our own. Like, I wouldn't have not written that song by myself. Chris wouldn't have written it. Aaron wouldn't have written it. Tim wouldn't have written it. It's the 4 of us fucking pushing and pulling until it's like, whoa, now we're all stoked. But none of it was what any of us were thinking alone when we started that idea. So
the best.
it's a very hard thing
It's
to
a
do.
painful process
It's
sometimes,
painful.
right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be upsetting.
You got to fuck your ego off, which a lot of songwriters don't like to do.
I hate doing that.
But you got to.
I know.
You got
It's
to
always
do
the
it.
best. We'll get into a new record towards the end, but early UnderOath, as like a Christian hardcore band, metalcore band. You
Not a
toured with
Christian
like
band anymore, though.
Sorry, no, I know.
Okay.
No, I know. We'll talk.
An early
we'll
UnderOath.
get there
Pay
too.
attention
Yeah,
to the
early.
man.
It's loud as fuck.
It is
in
loud
here.
as fuck. To be clear, to
And
the
I'm
viewer.
the furthest away.
Yeah. I'll
To my lap.
Yes.
come on. I know. We'll get there. Toured with bands like 18 Visions and Throwdown.
Yeah.
Did
That tour was wild.
Absolutely bonkers. Did it feel at the time like kind of the straight up hardcore world embraced you the way they embrace like bands like Figure 4?
They did. I don't know why.
We never did like Christian tours. Like we did the Solid State tour was because of our record label,
Sure.
but we always did like we didn't even play Christian festivals till way later, minus Cornerstone. There was a lot of bands
Which
that,
like
yeah, but there was
was
a lot of
insane.
bands that came from our scene that like did strictly Christian stuff, strictly Christian tours, Christian festivals all the time. There's so much money to be made there. We just kind of like we were just a band that had a set of beliefs. It didn't end up working out for all of us, but at the time as kids,
The early spirit of hardcore too. You remembered
absolutely.
like we used to play with Shutdown and Hatebreed and like when we were a local band. You know, we were pretty much a local band until 2003. You know, and like.
And that was 5 years. Like you were 97 UnderOath started.
but
right?
like it was pretty much a local band until 2003,
sure.
and like we would play all these hardcore shows because a big deal at the time. I'm 39 now, but I remember like a big deal at the time was like inclusivity back then in the hardcore scene.
Absolutely.
You know, so all these bands on Victory would come through, and we were like the local band at the time in the St. Pete, Tampa area. So they would throw us on these gigs, and for some reason, we were accepted in early with all those bands. And when we started touring, people never looked at us as like, oh, they're a Christian band. It was always like,
They're the boys.
let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and the 18 Visions Throwdown thing, it's cool that you brought that up. That tour was really fun because Throwdown got to pick a band, and 18 Visions got to pick a band.
Who picked
That's
who?
how they did it. 18 Visions picked UnderOath, and Throwdown picked Terror. So Terror opened that night.
Insane.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild.
Like, and we played
That
second.
package is crazy.
Yeah, isn't that makes no sense though?
But it could happen today, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye. I think it makes sense.
Totally. But at the time, it really made sense because that's what you did. Like you were.
That's where we
hardcore
are in
shows,
music again.
hardcore
though.
shows were like family. You know that. It's like it was a special invite. You know,
Fuck yeah.
it was the cool place to be. Except for at school, it wasn't the cool place to be. But you know, like when you went, you felt like you were part of a family. That's what it always was.
You're right. Like back to what you just said. I think it's back that way now. It would be totally fine for us to take Terror on a tour.
100%.
Anyone could.
It would be celebrated.
Yeah.
And we'd have a hell of a time.
You would.
You know
I
what I
think
mean? It wouldn't be weird at all.
No, I agree.
A band like UnderOath would not be at a festival like this 10 years ago. Even 10 years ago.
But you're straight up, like, UnderOath is a cemented legacy act at this point. Still writing, but, like, look at this bill. And, like, the headliners haven't put out records in a long time. You put out what you see as, like, your most personal piece of music this year.
Sure.
Right.
That's something.
Yeah. That's
So
the
good
goal.
shit. Should be the goal.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, my thing is, like, he was saying 10 years ago, we probably wouldn't have been here because there was a whole sect of music for us. Warped Tour.
Right.
And every time I played
And-
Warped Tour,
and
Terror played Warped Tour.
Mayhem and Warped Tour.
And then when all that went away, we were all sort of forced to play in the same playground. So now
interesting.
we're playing with Shinedown,
I think that's sick.
which I think is dope.
At the time, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years, it was so segregated as far as rock. If you consider all of this rock music because it's loud with guitars and drums, there was like festivals for active rock, festivals for hardcore, festivals for punk rock, festivals for ska, festivals. It was so weird, and no one else was doing that. And I think the fact that a lot of people do miss Warped Tour and Mayhem and Ozfest, but the fact that those are gone and like this is what exists now, it's kind of beautiful in a way, because it's like, wow, all these bands are playing together. We just did a tour with fucking Korn and Alice in Chains, bands I've been listening to since I was like 6.
Yeah.
And like, we did a tour with Breaking Benjamin in 2018 or 19, something that would have never happened. And even if it would have happened 10 years ago, we probably would have said no, because it wasn't cool if you were in the hardcore scene to cross-pollinate with rock bands that were mainstream. And now it's just like, you play music, we play music. You want to play in front of new people, we want to bring new people.
That's how it
let's
should be.
celebrate.
And that's how it was when we started, when we were 16 years old in 98 or whatever. It was like you could go see a Victory Records band and there'd be a rapper opening.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And
Mini Paz opening for Fury of 5 or something.
You know the one.
Yeah,
you know that gig. Like,
yeah.
we played all those shows. Hatebreed came to St. Petersburg, I'll never forget it, and we opened. And we were like a overtly Christian band at that time.
Wow.
This was year 2001. You know what I mean? And it was sold out, and it was so sick.
And
and
just
Jamie
rock.
Josta was so cool to us.
He's the king still.
Do you know
to
what I'm
this day.
saying, though?
Yeah.
Like, no one does that shit.
No,
like,
it's coming back, though.
But
you know?
now it's back, and
Yeah.
that's what's super cool, is because it feels like nothing's changed in a way. You know what I mean? But in the middle there, it was very us versus them, in terms of like punk bands tour with punk bands, hardcore bands tour with hardcore bands. But we're back around now, and it's better that
you got
way.
soldiers from within fighting to infiltrate and change stuff. You know? That's me, brother.
Let's go,
Changing
dude.
shit. You said very overtly we're not a Christian band anymore. Furnace Fest, I was just there as well.
Same, I was there on Saturday.
Had a very long conversation with Andrew from Figure 4 about the kind of post-Christian identity that a lot of bands. He's the best.
I love him too.
I didn't know,
He's the
I had
best.
never spoken to him. And
The
he
newest
he's a
Comeback Kid
sweetheart.
record is so fucking good too.
They just keep doing the best shit.
Have you heard the newest one?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unreal.
His vocals are
He's the man.
sick. I love Andrew.
He's so good.
The way that like he's a fucking chameleon, because he did the Figure 4 shit and then warped straight into being the perfect guy for Comeback Kid after already
Wild.
being in the band.
Yeah.
There was a
Which-
different singer at the beginning too.
Yeah, of
with Comeback
course.
Kid.
I did shows with him. I did their like reunion shows with him a few years ago too.
Crazy.
So I've seen every fucking morphing of that band. In the post-Christian identity, like a lot of bands are shy about it. And I like that you were just like, we're not a Christian band anymore. Like, just objectively.
Yeah, and I don't have any problem with people that are. But, like, for us and the way our lives panned out, it just didn't work, for us. Like, it's hard to be in a band as it is, Like, we all grew up together, so as we started to change into individuals, it almost felt like someone was, like, kind of shitting on you, but if they were changing, because you're like, that used to be our boy. We used to dress the same and eat the same, and now he's off doing this shit, And I think we had this parameter set on the band that was just way too much pressure, that we had to not only play together, tour together, be the same, look the same, dress the same, eat the same. We also had to believe the same in your personal life. And that is just so much to ask,
So
to
much
where
pressure.
I think
Too much.
even people that might have still been a Christian today, if they weren't in this band, are not, because of the damage it did internally, and like the things that like when you have that much weight on you and pressure, and like, man, I'm going through this. If I talk to these guys about what I'm going through, they'll kick me out because it's not a Christian thing to go through.
Shit.
Like, there's so many things that were poisonous, and I think with music should be music. And if you're a Christian man watching this or listening, that's, I don't hate on you. But for us, in my experience, it's like we can talk about our personal lives and our personal things as two people, but I don't need you to be the exact same as me to be in a band together. We love each other. We're brothers. I've spent more time with you than my actual blood. If you believe something different than me, that's fine. We have a middle ground, and that's the music we create together and the love that we have each other for as homies. Like, to put this like, yeah, but if you don't believe what I believe, you're out of here.
And there are people right now in UnderOath that are Christians
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
today.
But the band as a unit.
Yeah.
I would say there's maybe 2 guys that are Christians and the rest are not. Oh, and a good
That was
catch.
fucking unbelievable.
So,
Live on the
there's
show.
a couple guys in the band that still hold that title,
Sure.
and that's totally great.
Absolutely.
And we're closer and healthier in our personal lives and as a band, as friends, as ever.
It's incredible.
It's, you know,
Who can say that 25
we-
years later?
Yeah, and like we
Hard,
see,
man.
we
crazy.
see it from the Christian community as like, oh, we pray for them, like they're lost souls now, like we hope they come back. And I'm like, man, if you guys only knew us and how happy and healthy we all are, because when we were in those shoes, we were dysfunctional, unhealthy, had terrible habits that we were all hiding from each other, and shit was destructive. And it was, like I said, poisonous. And that's not a bash on the religion itself. That's the bash on us as a band trying to hold one idea of your personal beliefs.
Organized religion's sticky, dude.
Amen.
Fucking
For lack of a better word.
It's fucking
Amen.
sticky.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and it's real sticky in a band dynamic. So for us, things got so much better when we just said, "That's."
We
not
said
who-
it's okay.
It's beautiful.
We can
Yeah.
talk about this. Like, it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling as a homie. Like, and with, like, not being able to do that, like, what it does to your mental health is like that'll put you on the ledge fast. You know.
Straight up.
You know. So like being able to just talk with my homies and have them talk to me and us accept each other.
And not worry about some.
Not worry about
set
some
of rules.
ulterior, you know, thing, some consequence that might happen.
Like anything, though, I can't imagine like with a lot of hardcore bands back in the day that had a set of rules that they lived by. You know
time.
this, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how some of us lasted because some of those rules were just not realistic. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And living the style, lifestyle that we were supposed to live was just not realistic. You know,
Absolutely.
you turn 30 years old and you're like, holy fuck! Like I don't even know if I like that anymore.
Yeah, my back hurts. You know?
But emotionally,
Absolutely.
Like, I don't even know if I believe that.
Sure.
And you're like, but we said that we did.
And we can't talk about it if I don't believe that, because what will so and so think? What will the label think? Well, you know, like there were so many consequences.
Whole thing.
It got
Heavy.
it got real. It was really tough.
It got
you know?
weird. Yeah.
It definitely took its toll, but like we're out the other side of it. And like I said, I'm not like a hater on Christianity. It just
course.
for me it didn't work, and for this band for sure it didn't work. And I know for a lot of my friends in this band it didn't work. And you know, I can sit with a Christian and love them the same as I would an atheist or a Buddhist. It doesn't matter.
Fuck yeah.
That's your thing. That's your journey, and whatever makes you happy and like gives you peace that you believe wholeheartedly. Like I'm all about it, man. Like I don't care what it is. Like, but I'm just happy that we can be under oath, because I think if we were like it's either Christian band or not, there'd just be no under oath. The under oath would have
100%.
stayed.
Wow.
Under oath would have stayed dead since 2010 or 2009 or whatever. When we
Wow.
decided to lift that, it was like it's a life or death situation here. It's like this can't go on the way that it is.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I'm glad you stayed around.
Yeah.
How many tens of thousands of people are thankful for that? New
Hell yeah.
records that
Yeah.
fucking kick ass.
Thank you, man.
Let's talk about that. As a purveyor of violence, you described it as high def violence.
High def violence.
I'm
Voyeurist.
down with that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Talk
I mean,
to me about it.
I think for us, it's the first record in our career we've self-produced.
Right.
So we just wanted to make something that was exactly what we wanted to make,
Fuck yeah.
and that's what we did. There was no rules.
That's it.
Zero rules.
That's
just
the way it needs to be.
at the time. That's what we wanted to make, and that's what we made. And the next thing will probably be completely different too. I mean, you never know. You know what I mean? Like I think us taking that jump and making it ourselves.
Sure.
You got to
Huge.
really trust each other, and I don't think we could do that.
Did you do every aspect of it yourselves?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Production,
All
everything.
We
of
didn't
it.
mix it.
We didn't mix it.
Yeah.
Who needs to mix it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's,
Mix and master was done by someone else.
That's
but
a
yeah.
whole. That's like
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
air conditioner
But we
repair.
did. Yeah. But we did everything else ourselves.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was cool because but I think it took until now for us to be able to do it. You know, for you
Absolutely. We couldn't have done this before.
to look at it's different when a producer's like, no, that sounded like shit. Do it again.
Sure.
When it's your boy being like, nah,
I don't like that.
It hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
it hurts, but you get like you get a different feeling.
Sure.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. There's a testament for how far we've come with the trust and love of each other, and that like that thing is what we're looking for out of each other. And it's like, even though you don't want to hear that your part sucks, but until someone in my band does that about something that I came up with and vice versa, it's like we're not there yet.
Okay.
Like
Even something you're not sure about that you did personally.
Yeah, and
somebody else
if
is
he goes,
excited
oh
about
my god, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like
that's the fucking
it's
best.
like, but that's because we care about each other
Sure.
and love each other, and that's like a huge. Sounds super cheesy, but it's like to be able to do that this far into it, it makes me pumped. Like I want to go make a record right now because we're talking about it. I'm like, let's go, you know.
That's what I mean. It's and it changes. Like when you play it live, it has a different feeling. Then you get
course.
another shot of
course.
of adrenaline.
And then you get other creative ideas like, oh, yo, we can do this crazy transition in this
Totally.
part. And that's the best part.
We're a live band first, you know. So for us, it's like
The interludes we make
become
to make
songs.
the set,
Yeah, I loved all that.
those become songs.
Some of that-
They
some of
always have since.
Some of the songs that are on Voyeurist
Dude,
were interludes.
There's
Wow.
a video you can find on YouTube that's from Soundwave 2005, and it's from behind on the side, and we're playing this interlude, which became To Whom It May Concern on Define the Great Line.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh,
an
shit.
interlude first, and it had no vocals, and it was like, it changed quicker, and it got heavy faster, and I started screaming and like singing over the end. It was different than what it became on the record, but you can find it on YouTube if you're smart and you
Wow.
really know what that song sounds like. Soundwave 2005. The video from back here, it's like a sea of people, and you can find that before
Up
it
on
was.
a hill, I remember that.
Yeah, it was before the song. Before we wrote the
2005?
song, it was an
2005.
interlude.
Google it.
Get it.
Google it.
Talking to the camera.
YouTube, baby.
Yeah.
Google it.
That's you if you want to send a message.
Google it.
Yeah, yeah.
Google it. I didn't
YouTube
know what
it.
you were pointing at. I was like, this dude's got Tourette's.
Yeah, I'm wild, man.
Yeah, let's
You
go.
never know. What's I guess we can wrap it up a little bit, but touring in 2001 versus touring in 2022. How different is it for you?
I
Are
mean-
you guys vegan or anything?
No.
You fuck with McDonald's?
No.
No.
I used to.
What are you into? What are you eating?
Healthy
You eating
stuff.
good?
Healthy stuff.
Yeah,
Dude, we're
the
40 years
worst.
old, bud.
All right.
Like, I don't want to get fat and bald. That sucks.
Bald? That's genetic. McDonald's, Ronald ain't gonna bald you, brother. Come on.
Ronald-
Okay, here's the thing with McDonald's. Listen. McDonald's is fucking delicious.
It's the best food ever.
But here's the you're
But for a reason.
but you're on drugs to say that. But here's the deal. You know, McDonald's is the same everywhere. So we have forayed into. We started with McDonald's back in the day,
Sure.
2001, and then you get a little bit of money, and it's like, okay,
Sure.
like maybe we should eat something different. And then we started eating something
Let's go
different.
to Wendy's.
But
Oh no.
Wendy's fucked. I love Wendy's.
You're a Wendy's over
Yeah,
Macca's?
I am personally, but I'll say this about Macca's. Listen, if you're in Russia
Oh yeah.
and
this is
we
true.
still eat McDonald's in Russia,
Okay.
all 6 of us.
Japan? That's good McDonald's.
I like food in Japan. Like I like sushi and
Same.
shit. But here's
Yeah,
the
but
here's
eventually
the, here's
you
the
want
deal
that
with
taste of home. Yeah, you
Russia.
gotta go with something
the
weird.
food in Russia can be weird.
Is it the worst?
I think Eastern European food is the one that I like the least.
Same.
But in Russia, like the food was so bad the first time we went, like whatever we were eating, and we were like well past McDonald's by this point. The first
Sure.
time I went to Russia was 08 or 09, and the shows were incredible, like wild.
Like Russia was there.
Yes, it was unbelievable. But the food,
Every time we've been, it's been unbelievable. To be fair,
the food was so bad that we ate McDonald's every day, and it was fucking awesome.
Every time
And
was
it-
just like, yes.
And it tasted like you were in Minneapolis.
Wow. But
Like-
other than that, UnderOath as a band has sworn off McDonald's.
We don't eat McDonald's.
This is breaking.
no
This is breaking news.
UnderOath eats
healthy stuff.
healthy food.
All right, so break this down for me. Other than the healthy food. Say healthy food's not an option. You're in fucking Lawrence, Kansas, brother. You're going down the highway. You get one of them signs with like the exit
Yeah.
340. There's 4 things on there.
Cracker Barrel.
That's the one where
Yeah.
you're like, pull the fucking van
Yeah,
off
for
the
me,
road.
that's what we'll
Cracker
do.
Barrel.
Cracker
Wow.
Barrel.
We've done some weird shit though. Like if we have to, you know, like that's why you eat healthy though. You eat healthy as much as you can control it. That way, when something like that happens, you can't be like, you're not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna eat. Like
Oh, okay.
I do that shit. Like so when I go and my wife's family is cooking for me, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna eat that because of my, you know, I eat as healthy as I possibly can when I'm in control. And if there's a scenario that's out of
Sure.
my control, you just, you know, you work out, right? You know, like
Yeah,
you'll live.
Go to
Just
the gym tomorrow.
Just don't.
Fuck up a Big Mac, dog.
Just don't,
I'll
you know,
plug from
don't
Big
do
Mac
it all
right
the
now.
time. You know,
I had
everything
one
in
before
moderation.
before we did this.
I would eat one today.
Can we arrange a Big Mac pickup for UnderOath? All right, cool. Well, thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you,
I
guys.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you,
us,
man.
man.
This was a wonderful chat with my new best friends UnderOath.
Let's go.
Thank
Best
you so
friends.
much for watching. Bye-bye.